Hey y'all, welcome back to the Clancy Family Homestead. Today I am in the kitchen and I am making elderberry syrup. So it is cold, flu, RSV season, all the bugs, norovirus is going around, all the things. And we have had some play dates. We've got some more play dates coming up. We've also got a birthday party that'll be out with a bunch of people. So I want to stay healthy. I want my kids to stay healthy. I don't want to be getting all the bugs that are going around. So when I know that either somebody's starting to get sick or we're going to be around a lot of people, a lot of times I'll start taking elderberry syrup and I'll have the kids start taking it every day as kind of a precaution. And then if we get sick, then we take it a little bit more frequently throughout the day. Most of the time the kids take, now this is not a medical recommendation, this is just what is, I found online for recommendations for how much you're supposed to take. It says for kids like a teaspoon a day. Now it can have side effects, so make sure you're talking with a doctor if you are uncomfortable. Do your own research, all those things. I take a tablespoon a day. If we're sick, the kids will take a teaspoon a few times a day, 2 to 3 times a day, and I will take a tablespoon a few times a day. It's basically just a little bit of an immune boost. So we're gonna go ahead and start making that. So my recipe calls for 3/4 cup dried elderberries. These dried elderberries are from Azure Standard. We love them. We've used them for our elderberry syrup in the past. I'm actually gonna be doing a double batch, so I'll be doing 1.5 cups of the dried elderberries. For each recipe, it's 3 cups of water. So again, because I'm doubling, I'm doing 6 cups. It is, for the recipe, it's either 1 teaspoon of dried cinnamon or 1 cinnamon stick. I use cinnamon sticks. 1 teaspoon of dried cloves or 4 whole cloves or 1 drop of clove essential oil. I use whole cloves. Then it is 1 teaspoon of fresh ginger, which that's what I use. Or you can do 1 teaspoon of dried ginger or 1 drop of ginger essential oil. And then we will need raw honey again. We'll need a cup of raw honey. Again, I'm doubling everything, so it'll be 2 cups of raw honey and 2 teaspoons of everything. But I've got my 6 cups of water already on. I'm going to turn the heat on. So you want to get everything boiling. So we're going to add all our elderberry, add our cloves, add our cinnamon, and add our ginger. We are not adding our honey yet. You add your honey once it's cooled down, because if you boil raw honey, basically the benefits of the raw honey go away completely. So we're going to go ahead and add everything in here. All right, so I have a 1/2 cup. So again, because I'm doubling the recipe, I'm doing 1.5 cups. So I need 3 scoops.
So both of them? Just one? Put up one?
Just a few more chunks.
Is that probably good?
Yep. Yeah, here, cut that chunk up too. I'm just throwing in some chunked ginger. I'm not even peeling it. I'm just throwing it right in, because we're going to strain all of this afterwards anyways.
It smells good.
So we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Once we add all our ingredients in, we are going to get it to a boil. And then, so I added 2 whole cinnamon sticks in. Then we are going to let it simmer for 40 to 45 minutes. And that just allows everything to combine, gets all the juice out of the berries. It also will actually reduce this by about half the liquid. So it would be about 4 cloves per recipe, so it should be about 8. I'm just throwing in a bunch. And like I said, the honey gets added in after we boil it down, simmer it down, and once it's cooled down. So all we're going to do now is get this to a boil, let it simmer for 40 to 45 minutes, and then we will strain it off, and I'll bring you guys back for that point. All right, so as you see, the elderberry is boiled down quite a bit. We've lost about half the volume. So now we're going to go ahead and strain it off in a mesh strainer. You can use cheesecloth, things like that. Sometimes we still get a little bit of, a berry or 2 will fall through, but that's not a big deal. Right. It smells so sweet already, and I haven't even added honey. The elderberries themselves are very, very sweet. Now I'm just going to push them down. Whoops. I'm going to just squish them down just to get any little bits that could be left, any liquid, just so I kind of get the most bang for my buck with these. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. So this is what we are left with. Now once this cools down and is no longer like steaming, we will go ahead and add the 2 cups of raw honey. Again, I'm doubling, so it is 2 cups doubled of raw honey into this, and then we can bottle it up. I store it in the fridge. It lasts for about 2 months once it's stored. And again, we don't take it all the time. You can, I know people that do take it regularly, but we just take it kind of when we know we're going to be around a lot of people potentially getting sick, or when we are getting sick, things like that. Elderberries have a ton of antioxidants in them, as well as anti-inflammatory benefits, which is really cool. So I have Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune thyroiditis. So basically my thyroid is being attacked by antibodies that my body's created, and causes inflammation. And sometimes that can be, if you eat a lot of like junk food, a lot of processed food, I feel it for days. And so elderberries can help even with that, not just, with sickness. They can even help with inflammation from like autoimmune disorders and things like that. So we'll get the honey added and bottle it up. My kids don't love it. I think it tastes delicious. It is very sweet. And it is tastes kind of like, the best way I can describe it is kind of like a old country store smells like that has a lot of like potpourri and stuff, because of the cloves and the cinnamon. That's just kind of what it tastes like, but I think it tastes wonderful. So I don't mind drinking it. The kids fight me a little bit, but they take it because I say to. All right, so it is cooled down. The elderberry is all cooled down, so we're gonna add our honey in. Like I said, because I'm doubling this, it's 2 cups. If you were just doing a single recipe, it would be 1. I am gonna link the recipe below that I use. It's just one I found online and I've used multiple times and I really like it. Most recipes are fairly similar though. Your measurements might be slightly different, but overall it's very, very similar. So we're gonna just pour in this honey, we're gonna stir it in, and then I'm gonna bottle it up. Now, obviously, local raw honey is the best. This is our own honey, so it's as local as we can get, seeing as it comes from our yard. Trying to get as much of it. The honey just adds in some sweetness, which, I mean, really, you don't need much sweetness added because it is very sweet, but raw honey also has antibacterial properties. That's why you don't want it to boil, because you would lose all that. And obviously helps with allergies, things like that. So it just kind of adds to the benefits of the elderberry syrup. So I just use these little bottles, these tops. I use these for kombucha too, so we have a bunch of them. I got it. No, I got it. Just want to make sure that's all mixed in. I don't want to stain anything. And there we have it. I have a little bit more, so I'll add a little bit to another bottle. And then, like I said, we can take this every day. It'll last about 2 months. If you're taking it every day and you're taking it regularly, you'll probably need it more than, have to make it more than every 2 months. But again, we don't take it all the time. So this lasts us for the full 2 months. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Remember, we're growing today for a better tomorrow. Please like and subscribe and join me on the next one.